you're also talking about things you did. You're talking about a major thing that I didn't do. It is an embarrassment. It's not something I did. It's not something I have to own. I can acknowledge it. Welcome to Pull the Pin Already, a place where average veterans come to share their opinions on the world we live in. We can't guarantee you're going to like our opinions,
but we promise we're going to enjoy giving them to you.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Mike.
And I'm Mike.
No relation. Let's pull the pin.
Like another echo in here. Another Mike. Yeah. I heard it like 4 times.
Mike.
All right,
Guess
Mike.
what day it is?
Mike. Hey guys, I got a question for you. What do you guys think about the term diversity in America?
Are you just pulling this up to just trap a bunch of white guys? Like, is that
Pretty
what
much
you're doing right now?
Pretty much, not you, Mike, but that other guy over there.
What other guy?
Oops, excuse me.
I'm all for diversity.
Yeah, there you go. That guy right
I'm
there.
all for diversity. I don't know why you're trying to. I'm all for diversity in thought.
What does that mean?
That means different people from different places with different ideas. That's what we do anyway, don't we? When we come together and have a meeting, we plan a mission. Don't we bring in different people to hey, let's do this. No, let's try this. Let's do that. Yeah, I'm all for diversity. I'm not for forced diversity.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
That's different, and that's what I think. I think even matter of fact, I'm glad you brought this up because I think I seen a certain guy. I seen a certain guy over here posting about this. This is an amazing day in our history because we have a black vice president or Hispanic, whatever she's claiming today. We've got these.
I think they said Southern Asian.
I told you Asian.
Yeah.
But whatever. The point being is that they're passing this off like this is a great time in America because we have this. Now, I sat there and Mike's like, "Oh, that's a great statement. I can't disagree." And I'm thinking there, well, I understand the statement alone sounds like you can't disagree, and I get that. But if it's false and forced, there's nothing great about that. There's nothing great.
Since you brought up the comment, I really wish I could pull it up just to share it with Mike, so he can have some context here. But it's just talking about Mike, be quiet. A black vice president, right? What was it? Hispanic Supreme Court justice, and mention some other stuff there, right? I think a Jewish president, whatever, and he said, "This is a historic day in America." Just that alone, it's never happened.
Yes,
you know what I mean. Just that alone, there's nothing false about it.
Right.
Well, the vice president thing we can argue, but is nothing really false about it, right? So my thing is, I get it, and this dude is, believe it or not, he's a black conservative. Been listening to him for years, right? And I like, when he posts stuff, I like to disagree and stuff like that. But on that one, I was like, just that, keeping it in context. I said, okay, I can agree with that. Yeah, it's the first time in America. Probably, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, probably the most diverse country on this planet. And that statement alone is true. It's
right.
True. It was
100%. We're the most diverse community in the world.
Right.
100%. There's no debating that. And the reason being is because we're all immigrants.
Right.
Every single one of us is an immigrant except for the Native Americans.
Right.
Right.
Because we all immigrated over here. Either by will or by force. Which was obviously a dark time in American history. That tends to get swept under the rug quite a bit.
Mike, can I stop you right there for a second? No. I'm being honest here, man. That's why I really appreciate you a lot, because you speak not like others like who may, let's say, look like you. Okay, but you really acknowledge a lot of things that people want to sweep under the rug, and I respect that. I really do, man. Some of the other stuff,
because those who don't learn from our history are doomed to repeat it.
right?
And this is why I hate the whole sweeping under the rug thing. I mean, we're inherently evil. Every one of us is inherently evil. Whether you believe in going to church or not going to church, we're all inherently evil. We all have selfish tendencies. We're all gluttons, right? You tell me right now that if you won the fucking Mega Millions, that's what, at like $945 million, you would share that with people?
Really?
Yeah.
That means I didn't win. Okay.
Neither did I.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all inherently evil, and given the same opportunities that a lot of the, let's say majority white politicians have received, not just because of their positions, we can't say that we wouldn't do the same. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I want to ask you a question because I'm a little still hung up on, like, I do appreciate, like Mike says, I appreciate anybody who can talk about anything. But I also have to understand, like, do you go around talking about the time you cheated on your wife? Do you go around talking about the time you stole something? You don't, right? Because it's embarrassing.
But those are very minute things.
Well, you say that
compared to enslaving an entire race.
Okay, let me finish. Let me finish.
Okay,
let me finish.
Sorry, go ahead.
Because you're also talking about things you did. You're talking about a major thing that I didn't do. It is an embarrassment. It's not something I did. It's not something I have to own. I can acknowledge it. But it's not like I can walk around and say, yeah, some people slave it. It's just not something we talk about because I didn't have any part in it. In fact, I can't even talk on it because I don't really know what happened other than what I've read. So if Mike brought it up and said, hey, let's talk about slavery. All right, let's talk about it. I don't know. So I think there's a distinct difference between
the fact that you don't know is the problem that I'm talking about, Jim.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, man. Like, we learn history in school, correct? Like, you did go through history. You learned about World War II and how the Nazis were evil and all that shit, right? You learned about that shit. How much did they cover about slavery in America, though?
Okay, before you start labeling me as a racist,
I'm not talking about, like,
that's Mike's job.
Mike's
job to call me racist,
Jim,
not the other white guy.
I let you finish. Let me finish. Hold on. I'm not talking about you specifically because you're white. You have to pay reparations to Mike James because he's black. That's not what I'm saying. Okay, and that seems to be where you're kind of taking it. Where I'm taking it is we did not learn enough about the evil that America did in history. In school.
I disagree. And I don't want you to think that I don't know about slavery. I'm saying I don't know from a firsthand perspective. I know from books. I know it was taught. And I think everyone in this country knew how bad slavery was. Everyone knows.
I don't think they did. I really don't think you knew the absolute extent of slavery in America.
Of course, and yes, I don't think you do either.
Human beings were sold and made to work fields or whatever, whatever their masters made them do. But there's so much more on top of that that the history books just kind of brush through.
Okay. So all right. So what's the? I don't understand the angle here. I'm like, so do we relive? What do we do? Like, I think anybody you talk to on the street can say, okay, if a person is reduced to property, is that bad? Yes. If a piece of property is raped and forced to have children, is that bad? Yes. If someone, like, I don't understand what it's expected to do. We all understand, and we all agree that it's in the past. Now, we're not going to say racism is gone, but slavery is in the past in this country. And I think many people will acknowledge that. But
I disagree with you.
What do you mean?
I disagree with you. There's a lot going on right now that could be considered slavery.
So the two white guys are going to argue about slavery while the black guy sits back and laughs.
I'm not laughing. I'm like,
exactly the point here.
It must be a Mike thing, because I'm just going to be quiet. Mike, please.
No, so the reason why I'm saying that is it's not necessarily it's not necessarily a racist thing that is going on right now, but there is human trafficking, and that can be considered part of sort of slavery, like indentured servants paying off their travel fees from and it's mostly Asia that's doing this right now, and it's Asians doing it to Asians a lot of the time. It's it's their own people doing it, but then again, we also live that with black slavery, because who the fuck sold these people to the white people? Africans selling their own people.
There were other means too. There were,
yes, but a lot of the majority was Africans selling their own people to us to bring over in boats and work as slaves. It's the same shit's going on today. Same shit's going on today, where they're illegally taking people from one country to America and saying, now you owe me such and such amount of money because that's how much it costs to get you over here. If you do not do what I tell you to do, I will kill your family.
Sure. I have Hispanic in my family.
Slavery.
I have Hispanic in my family, and some of them had to cross that border and say it was the scariest thing in the world, and the coyote, all that stuff's real. I get it. So what do we do? Am I accountable? I mean, awareness is great, but I don't want to get. I want to get back to the slavery.
But awareness is half the battle.
Well, I understand that, and we're trying to do that. That's why we're building a wall to keep the coyotes out. That's why all this stuff was pushed. We're cracking down on those crimes. I mean,
we're not building the wall anymore. That's what you know. What I mean,
well,
we're not building the wall anymore.
I understand.
So, yeah, I mean, like I said, the fact that we brush a lot of this shit under the rug, that the everyday person doesn't like to talk about this because it's uncomfortable, right?
Or like Mike says, why else don't people talk about things?
Mike, why else don't people talk about things?
It's not in their backyard.
Exactly.
But that's.
No, I'm not a racist, so I don't need to keep bringing up slavery.
The fact that you have to keep saying that.
I'm just saying. I'm not sitting here saying I'm not a racist. Okay.
And no one's calling you a racist, Jim.
No,
nobody said you were racist.
That's your job, Mike. But my point is, I don't own a slave. I never had a slave. I don't support slavery. I don't think I'm a racist. Apparently, others do, I guess. But I don't have to say all that to justify it. I'm saying, to me, in my mind, why is that an issue for me? Why would I be concerned about something that doesn't exist to me? The sex trafficking, the other stuff, I get still exists.
Is it a concern?
Yes, that's a concern.
Why?
Because it's human beings being treated unfairly, like the whole world's upset about.
Okay, so that's what Mike was alluding to when he said it still stems from the past.
Those who don't learn from the past are doomed to repeat it.
Yeah.
Okay, then if you're going to say that, then black people don't own the market on slavery. They can't just say,
"Oh, they never did." They never did. But in America, it was the biggest. It was the biggest form of slavery we have had in our history, was against black people. Yes, there are, and this is why you can't be racist against white people. Okay, you can't.
I can.
I mean, you can be prejudiced.
Damn white people.
You can be prejudiced.
A lot of people conflate the two.
But white people were never oppressed. Certain groups of white people were oppressed.
Okay.
Irish.
Okay. But what race can you say that about? Or are you just talking about specifically in America in that time? Or are you saying right now that I don't think you can say any race was completely oppressed. Any race. You can say groups of people in certain times, but any race.
Are you serious, Jim?
Yeah, I can't be serious right now.
Who's in charge of the government in Africa? White people?
Yeah, white South Africans, yeah.
No, I didn't say South Africa. All of Africa's government's not run by white people.
Are you sure?
So somewhere, yeah.
So who's running the government in America?
But see, now we're going off track here. I'm just trying to get the groundwork.
I want to hear what Jim's point is.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You can't say all of a race was oppressed because it's not true. It's just not true. Somewhere in some country that has only one race in it, it's not oppressed. The
So-
people in charge of China is not oppressing Chinese people because they're Chinese. So how is that an oppressing a race when they're Chinese? You literally said black people sold black people. So
Well, we got
who's
that,
oppressed?
Jim. But like,
So black people in America, we're not oppressed.
that's where I was going with that. Now you're talking about an entire race of people in America.
At a specific time.
Yeah.
Right. That I can agree with, but he said an entire race, none of the other qualifiers. And that's where it gets distorted.
Okay,
That's
now
how
we're
the
just
media.
kind of picking apart.
Yeah,
No,
that's
I-
the
I'm
distortion.
not trying to
comes
listen to what
from-
I'm trying to say, but picking apart what I'm trying. What
Jim,
I'm-
will you agree that an entire race in America was oppressed?
At a certain time, yes. Yes, I
Okay.
totally agree with that.
And you're saying that from that up until now, everybody's equal.
No, you can't. You never say that.
I'm
You
just
can never
asking
say
a
everybody's
question. It's
equal.
either
Right.
yes or no to
Yeah.
me.
No, you
Okay.
can never say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why would you say people who are once oppressed so many years ago, like people like to say, why are they not equal today?
Why are who not
The,
equal?
the people who were once oppressed and not oppressed now, but why are they not equal?
I can't speak for them because I don't know which people we're talking about.
Black people.
So you're saying black people today are oppressed that were oppressed.
I didn't say that. I asked the
That's what I'm
question.
asking.
Do you agree
Some
that black
still are.
people were oppressed so many hundreds of years ago? An entire race of black people were oppressed in America.
Yeah, if they were considered property, I'd call
Okay.
that oppressed.
So are you saying up until today,
Mhm.
everybody's considered equal?
No, I didn't say that either.
Okay, I'm just trying.
This is what I'm trying.
let me just say this. You guys, you know, Mike, you keep saying hundreds of years ago. Bullshit. Segregation didn't end until 63
I was going there, Mike.
or 64.
Okay, I was going there, Mike. Sometimes
right.
you gotta walk, Jim.
All
too,
right, man.
you know what I mean?
I can't walk
love
into
it.
that shit. Fuck that.
I gotta walk. I gotta hold his hand sometimes because Jim.
And in 1977, we still got an elected official saying.
But Jim, I should have let you finish that, Mike, even though you did it in a previous episode. But that right there, that statement that he made in '77, and he wasn't alone, let's be honest, but let's just stick with it because he's the president now. But that statement he made, what Mike was talking about earlier, was that comes from the history. Those who do not learn from the history, they're doomed to repeat it. So it's like you still see people, not you, because I know you like to personalize things, but
Well, when you say you, that is personal.
no, but you,
No, I get that. I do it all the time.
people, yeah, those people, they still see a certain demographic as lesser,
Yes,
human. You get what I'm
Sure.
saying?
I agree.
So that's why when people say, "Oh, that was back then," and then that goes into the sweeping it under the rug. Don't want to talk about it. And what did I always tell you, Jim? I don't know if Mike ever heard me say it. When it comes to a storyline here in America, and I'm telling you, man, people prove it to me damn near daily. They inject themselves into that storyline by race, camaraderie, and class.
Right.
No,
I agree with it, but
yeah.
that's what I think. Let me. Obviously, I got to keep explaining myself because I don't know what I'm talking about, right? So what I'm saying is, I get mad when the media does it. When the media says, "Oh, Trump supporters stormed the Capitol," we can all look at that and say, "Okay, were they Trump supporters? Yeah, sure, maybe because they're wearing Trump gear, whatever." But what they're doing is trying to take everybody that supports Trump and put them in that group. And when you talk like that, you're doing the same thing. You're putting everyone in that group. I don't know. I wasn't back there, but I understand there were black people who had black slaves.
Yeah,
in America.
Okay, but
So-
yeah, if you really read those stories, it's for protection. It's like I don't want my people over here. If I could take 10 of my people and make them slaves of mine, I'm gonna keep them away from your house.
Okay, so as long as there's a good excuse, you can have them.
If you look at that as an excuse, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Schindler's List, right?
Thank you.
I mean,
Damn,
think about it that way, man. Think about it that way. Like we're talking about black slave owners who bought slaves to protect them. Schindler did the same thing in Schindler's List. He bought Jews to work in his factory to protect them.
I'm not opposed to that.
He even said, I wish I sold my car because I could have saved 3 more.
Yeah.
I am not opposed to that. I'm not even for slavery. I'm not opposed to that. I think it's great. I'm just saying when you're speaking and you're talking and you're including everybody, yet there isn't everybody, those are words that just get dangerous because then everyone gets that label. Just like now.
Well, the whole thing, and pardon me for personalizing this, but you were kind of like what Mike was talking about. You're one of those people that seem to be uncomfortable talking about that part of history. It was, let's call it the Dark Ages, if you will, and don't want to talk about it, sweep it under the rug. And my whole thing is just talk about it. Hey,
we are.
Yeah, I know we are. I know now.
So how am I not talking about it?
What I'm talking about, generally in America, people just don't want to mention it. Hey, let's forget it. It's been a long time. Nothing from then is happening now. And that's why I say I respect Mike, because of how he just connects everything. And I'm like, well, damn, I'm not used to that.
Well, the thing about it is, man, and I was a lot like Jim in a lot of ways. It doesn't affect me. Why the fuck?
Hold on. Now we've just turned this into a Mike is this, but Jim's not.
Let me hold on. Let me finish my thought, okay? Because it's going to make sense in the end, okay? Because you did say these words. It's not happening in my backyard, right? I was like that. It's not happening in my backyard. Why do I care? I was like that. Not right. I know. Mike said it.
But we both agree. So go on.
Even 6 years ago, right? I was saying it's not happening in my backyard. Why do I care? Why do I care? And that's the wrong focus here. That is the wrong way to make change in the country that you believe needs to be changed. I have a lot of black friends. A lot of them stem from the Marine Corps, right? I live in a predominantly white town. I went to school with 5 black kids.
I'm not a racist.
I like them all, but it wasn't until I got into the Marine Corps that I really started to get to know, I don't want to say actual black people, but like black people, right?
On a personal level.
On a personal level. And I got to hear their stories about how they grew up, the struggles that they went through. And that's when I really started kind of teaching myself about not just the history, but today. I actually just watched a movie, and I can't remember the name of it. I'm going to have to screen my wife to give me the name of it. But it was really fucking powerful. And it was about Khalil Harris. Hold on 1 second.
I was going to take it. So I think what I'm trying to say is it's not just like if people just cared about people. I mean, you could take, like you just said, Mike, they interject the race, the all that stuff. I don't remember the 3 you just said, but I agree with it.
Race, camaraderie, and class.
Right, there you go. If people just cared about people, like if we're talking and having this conversation, it wasn't about racism or anything. If we were talking about classism, rich people, poor people, we don't have to sit here and argue about rich people treating poor people. If people would just care about people, then all of this stuff is not an issue. I mean, not by it would never exist. I mean, you can fix it all. Just care about people. You don't need to highlight the image of race, class, or camaraderie. Just treat people good. Respect them.
Can I ask you a question, Jim?
You have been all day. You can ask me if I'm a racist and don't.
I don't want you to take it the wrong way.
Of course.
Okay?
The reason you said that.
Do Black lives matter or do all lives matter?
Both. What does it matter? Both matter. Why does it? I just don't understand. Like,
are you in trouble?
For what?
Are you? I'm asking, like, just in general. Are you in trouble?
Am I in trouble?
Yeah. Are you in trouble?
Of course, I go through struggles too. I'm
asking. Are you?
Dead. I mean, I got issues. What?
Okay, if you walk outside, right now,
yeah,
and walk by a cop, are you in trouble?
Oh, come on, Mike, you gotta speak up. Mike, you gotta see. This is where this goes.
Are you in trouble?
This goes from Mike. This goes from I understand to liberalism.
Just answer the question, man.
It depends. It depends. Did I commit a crime? Am I carrying a gun? What? It depends.
Are you carrying a hairbrush?
No, I don't have that much hair. You see what you're doing? This is what I'm talking about. This is what you're doing again. You're putting it all in one group, like every black man that walks outside, walks past a cop is going to get shot.
Right now, us as white people, we're not in fucking trouble. We're not. We're
the only ones in this country allowed to be racist. Whiteness is a thing now. So what? Do now
Okay.
is it in?
Okay, Jim. I'll give you that. You're the only ones, like, you have to walk on eggshells, because if you do something or say the wrong thing, you're being classified as a racist. Now, show me the video where you were shot 50 times for that. Show me the video where you were beat up.
You mean like if I wore a Trump hat and got beat up?
Well, no, that was Jesse Smollett, the guy from that TV show.
No. That was the movie show, Smollett. I'm talking about the actual Trump supporters who got beat up for wearing a hat.
Yes, and I can show you videos of people who just out there with a sign that says Black Lives Matter, and they're attacked as well.
Yeah, exactly my point. So you see where we're going here?
No,
this is a people problem.
Here's where I'm going with this whole with Black Lives Matter, and here's why I completely agree with it. All right, well, this is an example of why, not the only reason why. Jesus had 100 sheep. Okay, one of them got out, ran away. Jesus goes to find that sheep. The other 99 sheep look at him and say, "Why are you going off to rescue him? We're right here." Because he's in trouble. You're not.
Yeah, but see, this is where I get, and I agree with you. I guess this is sounding like I'm disagreeing with you, but why can't all the sheep go get that one sheep?
But they don't.
But that's my point. Is so the problem is not the sheep is lost. The problem is people don't care about people.
Because all they want to do,
right?
All they want to do is divide themselves by
so
every little fucking thing.
Yeah.
So do you think telling people that I, as a white man, my race is so important that you need to take it as your cause is the answer? Because when you do that, you do exactly what you just did.
Everybody, I believe everybody needs to take it up as a cause. Because right now, that is the problem in America. One of the biggest problems in America. Definitely not. Why to me? I'm not black.
There's people who don't have to deal with this, never had to deal with this. There's conservative black people right now will laugh at you for saying these things because they don't have to deal with this. So that's your cause, your view. And I'm not saying it's a bad cause. I'm not saying we don't need to help the one sheep that you call it. That may be racist in itself, saying it's black people, they can't find their way back to the herd. That's your cause. And I believe it. Yes, Black Lives Matter. I can say it. You want to treat me like Trump and make me say it 100 times? That's fine.
No,
but my point
267 times.
All right. What am I on? How many is that now? The point is if we care about people, because to me, we had this discussion, Mike. If you're telling me that Black Lives Matter, I don't disagree with you. Yes, they do. But if you're telling me in a way that I matter, you need to care about me because you're not important anymore. I am. That's why people flip the script and they're like, wait a minute. I do believe you. What?
No, I just think that's the way they take it.
It is the way. Yes. It is the way that a lot of people take it.
Yeah, they take it that way, and I think
saying that you, Jim, the white man, don't matter. That's not what Black Lives Matter is.
Right, but that's the way they're taking it.
Black Lives Matter over everyone else. That's not what Black Lives Matter means.
That's why I said in the other show, Jim, when people say, "Yeah, all lives matter," then I'm saying, but they're not out there at a Black Lives Matter movement.
Right, but if you go back to that, your yard, okay, you look into your life right now. Let's say you're a white guy, right? You look into your life right now. How many things you got to worry about in your life right now?
Oh, that varies.
Right, and sometimes it's really extreme. Maybe you got a mom that's dying. Maybe you got a kid that's got cancer. Maybe, and someone comes up to you and says, "Well, white lives matter or Black lives matter." Well, no. Right now, my sick child matters. My thing matters. I ain't got time for your problems, whether they're real or not. And that doesn't have to be a mean defensive thing. It's just I don't have time because and a lot of people have these problems.
Yeah, so I get that. But where is that happening where people come up to you and try to force you to walk in their cause? You know what I mean? I don't get that.
Who says you have to walk in it?
You know, who'll walk or do whatever. Like
Or you
the way
just said that somebody came up. If somebody comes up to you and
So-
says, "Well,
hey,
you need
Black
to
Lives
walk
Matter.
our cause,"
Nobody's,
who's saying
nobody's
that?
doing that.
So you're saying that people are just jumping in the conversation saying, no, all lives matter. They're not defending themselves.
Absolutely, they
Yeah.
are. Absolutely, they are. All over the fucking place.
Jim, you
I
did it
posted
on the
this long
show.
post. I posted this long
What?
post on Facebook. About why I agree with Black Lives Matter. And all I got, right, because, I have a lot of Republican friends, right, being a Republican myself, all I got was, no, you got this twisted, all lives matter. All lives matter. All lives matter. Hashtag all lives matter.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just don't have the brain stems to comprehend it. Because even after Jesus got that sheep, all the sheep mattered, right? And the reason he went for that sheep is because all the sheep did matter. We can't lose one.
Right, but
Yeah.
99 were not in trouble. Didn't have an issue. This one had an
They're
issue.
they're all in the
So-
fence, man. They're protected. They're good. That one sheep is now in trouble. He's out of the pen. He's susceptible to fucking wolves and foxes
So-
and shit. Anything that
Okay.
is predatory against him.
Do we have a homeless veteran problem?
Absolutely.
Are they all black?
No.
No.
Right. They're homeless veterans, right?
Correct. That's
Well-
not a race.
But aren't they like a sheep?
Oh, they're absolutely in trouble.
So they're like a sheep, a lost sheep.
Yeah, because that one.
And America,
Oh,
and we
one
can go
homeless-
into a whole thing about how America treats fucking homeless people like shit
But that's
if you
my
want
point.
to, but that's like a
Well,
completely
okay,
different subject.
okay, Jim, but that's like saying homeless vets lives matter, and then somebody, well, all vets lives matter.
Right. Exactly.
Yes. Okay,
Exactly.
So why would I not be out there with you when you're marching? You're saying, hey man, we have a lot of homeless vets dying every day. We got to get out here and get them some food. We got to do this. We got to march for them. You got to protest for them or whatever. But I'm sitting up here like, well, all vets lives matter.
What are you marching
So
for?
I'm not
What are you
gonna
gonna
do that.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna
Marching on the government and saying you need to take care of your vets.
Oh, the government. You can't do
Whatever.
it yourself.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
can do it.
You can't take care of all of them, can you?
No, but I can do my
All right,
part.
then. Don't you think it's a responsibility of the government that they went overseas or they signed up to protect?
Wait.
Take care of them?
Hold on.
You
I
don't
want to hear
think
this
that's the
again.
responsibility of the government?
I want to hear this again because Mike's libertarian. I want to hear. So what is the government's responsibility again?
I'm asking you. You don't think that it's the responsibility of the government to take care of those vets who signed up to protect them?
So the government takes care of the vets.
Dude, it's a question. You're not answering the question.
Well, first I have to
Do
understand
you-
how they're not taking care of them. How are they not?
They're homeless. Put them in a shelter, whatever. And now the thing comes in. Well, how did they get there? I don't give a damn how they got there. Do your part. Just take care of them. Get them off the street.
I mean,
Do
but
you
a lot
agree?
of that
And
also stems from.
and Jim, I want you to know one thing. You have yet to answer the question.
Which one?
Do you think it's the responsibility? Do you agree that the government should take care of the homeless vets?
To what extent? I work for the
I just-
government.
I
They're
just
taking
told
care
you
of
that.
me.
I just told you that.
So yeah, I guess. But why are they not going to take care of them?
Do
They
you
should be
agree that
taken
there's
care
a problem with the homeless vets out here?
Do I agree with it? There's a problem.
I
Period.
I
Yeah.
hate it when people repeat the question, man. It's just
Well, I'm trying to understand your question. Now I want to
what
because I
part didn't
feel
you
like
understand?
we're gonna walk
What
me
part
into a
didn't you
trap here. I know I'm being
It's
walked
not
into
being
a
walked
trap.
into a trap. It's simple questions, dude. I believe that when I go down in Austin, when I go down in Atlanta, I see a lot of homeless people, first of all.
Mhm.
But when you're talking about specifically the vets, I'm like, well, damn. VA, you guys can't do anything for these people? You know? I
Yeah.
really and truly believe that. Now, let's flip it. People say, well, it's not the government's responsibility. Well, why is it that our government's responsibility is to send billions of dollars overseas and
Well,
not
we
take
can-
care of vets?
We can
You know what
agree
I
on
mean?
that. We can agree
Okay.
on that.
So that's
But
what I'm saying. When people start to say it's not the government's responsibility, I call BS on that. And that's the reason why there are millions and billions of dollars being spent overseas and not taking care of the family, like Mike was talking about earlier, here at home.
Right, but that's a fraud in what the government's spending money on. That's not about taking care of the vets. Because are you saying they don't take care of vets?
No,
I mean, don't you
I mean
file?
that's what I am saying. Yeah, when I see homeless vets out there, yeah, that's what I am saying.
A lot of that. Okay, I agree and disagree with you, Mike James.
That's what I
And the
love.
reason, okay, and that's and here's why. Like
I
I
never
agree.
agree with
Yes,
him.
they absolutely should be taken care of by the government. Here's the problem. All right, and I've been on the show before, and I've talked about toxic masculinity. Have I not? Right. Part of toxic masculinity is ignoring your mental problems until they hopefully go away. That's what a lot of vets go through too. You've been told by your fathers countless times. I know both of you have done this. All right. You've been told by any man in your life, your father, grandfather, doesn't matter. Suck it up, walk it off. Suck it up, be a man, stop crying. Does any of that ring a bell to anybody?
Nope.
Okay.
I
Wait,
can't
there
lie
you
with
go.
the damn.
Okay,
I can't lie with the damn, man. I tell you.
Right. So a lot of that stems from them, from that. So when people, specifically male veterans, right, get out of the military with PTSD, depression, anxiety, all these mental health problems, right? All these mental health problems, they don't see themselves having these mental health problems. They try to push it down. They try to ignore it. And it causes all kinds of problems in their lives, all kinds of problems with the people around them, including landlords, including coworkers, can't hold down a job because they haven't taken care of their mental health. And they end up where?
So
On the street.
are you saying there's a lot of different reasons why they could be on the street?
Oh, absolutely. There's a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of different
So
reasons
are
why
you
they-
saying that as to label the group of homeless veterans as people who are not being taken care of the government is wrong?
Yes, and that's why I said I agree and disagree with Mike James.
So if you take say example, a race of people and say they were oppressed and then try to say they're all still oppressed now, is that the same for all of them?
No.
Or what do you mean? So they're not. So some of them could be choosing to be in the same place, and some of them could be
No.
very successful and overcome whatever that oppression or past was.
It depends on the situation, honestly, man. It does. It depends on the situation. Were they lucky enough? Not all of them are lucky enough.
So it's luck.
A lot of it, as far as the neighborhoods that Black people were forced to move into,
Forced. Okay.
100% forced.
Okay.
Why? Because they didn't get the higher paying jobs.
Where
Even as late as 1960.
where are forced homeless people forced to live?
On the
Nobody's
street.
saying-
But I'm not talking
homeless
about,
people.
There is not
We're
a
talking
person
about-
in this country.
we're talking about apples and oranges here.
No,
Yeah.
there's
We're
not a
talking about
person in this
things, yeah.
country. There's not a person in this country who is forced to live anywhere except prison.
I completely disagree with you.
Okay, give me another one.
Well, I mean, you didn't even let me finish what I was saying.
Well, I want to know where we're coming from the premise of, because you're using words like forced, and Mike calls me on that earlier about forcing people to do stuff, and he's probably absolutely correct. I just fight with him. But even like now, I'm just saying, if you're going to say that people are forced to live somewhere, I want to understand how they're
Segregation
forced.
ended in 1964, correct? We
Okay.
can all agree with that?
Okay.
No, we can't. But most of segregation ended 1964, okay? All right? Obviously, not everybody's mind changed on Black people in 1964, correct? Can we all
Right.
agree with that? They didn't just one day wake up in 1964 and go, I no longer hate Black people.
Just like today, Inauguration Day, everything in the country just flipped today. So clearly, that's how it works.
No, it's not how it works. So, even after 1964, right, a Black person could not get a good paying job. Would you agree or disagree?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll say it was a challenge. Sure.
Right. So, when you look at these neighborhoods, okay, and the way that neighborhoods work, right? So, let's say we're talking about East Boston, because that's what I'm familiar with, East Boston. Okay. So, East Boston has its own school, has its own school systems, correct? How are they funded?
I see
Income
taxes.
Correct?
Sure.
Income tax. Okay. However, when East Boston has the lowest amount of the lowest. How am I trying to explain this? The
Graduation?
the lowest prices on their houses,
Oh,
right? The lowest rent on their apartments, right? And you cannot get a good enough paying job to move anywhere else. Where are you forced to live?
nowhere.
You have two choices. You have two choices in that situation.
Wait, you have a choice though,
East
right?
Boston or the streets. Which one are you going to choose? Let me just ask. Which one would you choose, the streets or East Boston?
I have a choice, right?
You have a choice, East Boston or the streets.
I would depend on me and my scenario, but I mean,
Okay, you're in the exact same scenario you're in right now. You have kids.
is it safer in the streets or is it safer in the house? Is it better opportunity if I look? You're laughing at my comment.
No, because
you're laughing at my comments
here. Now,
I'm not. I'm telling you, my kids go to school, and on the form you fill out, they ask you if you're homeless.
The same rules apply today, right? So if, let's say, Child Protective sees you living on the streets, they're going to take away your kids. Do you want your kids taken away from you, Jim?
If it gets them a safe place and they get meals, I could probably deal with it. And those are choices. These are my choices.
You're purposely fighting me on this because
yes, of course I am. Of course.
Absolutely, you would not choose to lose your fucking kids. Get the fuck out of here right now. If I told you I just won a Mega Million, Jim, I'm coming to take your kids because you just said if they're living with me, it would be a better situation. So I'm going to come take your kids, Jim. Okay, and you don't get to see them ever again.
Can we send your videos and pictures?
No, you don't get to see them. You're out of their lives.
Wouldn't that happen when they were 18 anyway? Like,
hey,
what
Mike,
I'm saying is, you would choose to live in East fucking Boston. Now, East Boston's school system is funded by income tax. If you have the lowest amount of rent and mortgage in Massachusetts, okay, now I'm just taking Massachusetts here. In Massachusetts, and the income taxes for that obviously are going to be a lot smaller than somewhere like, I don't know, Weymouth, which here in Massachusetts, for those who don't know, is a very rich town. Okay? Houses go for north of $1 million. So the income taxes on that is going to be way better or way higher. Correct?
Yeah.
And all those income taxes or a percentage of those income taxes go to the schools. So the school system is going to be inherently better, correct? Better equipped?
I'll agree with you.
You can make the assumption. You can make that assumption.
It's not an assumption, dude. This is math and fucking common sense here, Jim. You are honestly fighting me for the sake of fighting me, okay? So this is where the whole systemic racism part comes in, okay? Black people are not afforded the same opportunities in the 1960s as the white people. We're talking only a little over 50 years ago here. Right? So yes, luck would have to play a huge part
I'm going
in your family being able to get out of that.
It's getting way late, and if we let you go, this could be another hour, but I'm going to sum that all up in 4 words. And Michael, really appreciate them. I had no choice. So let us move into our segment where we just pull the pin and share what we don't like in the world today. And who would like to go first?
I'm not going first. I'm protesting.
How dare you?
Oh man.
You got something, Mike? Or I'll go first, Mike.
Go ahead.
All right.
Can I?
What?
Okay.
I'm still reeling. I'm still reeling from this.
Can I?
I know. Isn't it great?
Can I change it? To pull the pin. Can I do a POW?
You can do whatever you want, man.
Yeah. I'll go first if I could do a POW.
All right.
POW person of the week is a person of the week, and I have family that I love dearly. I have some friends that I love dearly, but my person of the week is going to have to be, even on this historic day, it's going to have to be Mike. Mike James.
I love it, man.
But no, I gotta give it to Mike, man, because I just brought up the topic and we were just clowning around a little bit, but that was probably the first time in that context of a subject. And like we like to joke around and say, I'm talking to two white guys, American white guys, and this dude, I didn't have to say a word, barely. I was like, well, damn, I thought it was gonna be more than that, but okay, take it away, Mike.
Because you don't talk to liberals, right? They're the ones out there marching too.
Yeah, but no, it's not to say that, and I just have to throw this out there. It's not to say that Jim is the total opposite of what Mike was speaking, but it's just Mike and his content, and I just say I appreciate it. It just I really have my hopes of America changing and the ability for America to change has been heightened, let's say, because of just this episode right here. But with us talking and the average person, I'm telling you right now, in certain demographics would say that a person, the way you were speaking, Mike, it doesn't exist.
No, I am speaking of the average person. That's the points we were making. Is I am what people think and they do. That's what I was doing right there. I mean, some of it I still do.
I was going to call you racist.
Oh, you can't go that far. I have black friends too.
You're not racist. Maybe you should look in the mirror.
I have. Believe me, I have at least one black friend.
Yeah,
I know. I've tried to convince people that I'm not stupid by saying I'm not stupid.
Right.
Well, wait a minute. Maybe if I have to say it. Oh, shit.
But no, I just wanted to throw that out there that, hey, I appreciate the conversation, but Mike, you got my POW for this week right here, buddy.
Thank you.
That means you get to come back more and suck some ass.
I'm happy to come on. Anytime.
We even let you bring the topic because we know you're well.
Not Mike. Hey, only the shaving Mike, right?
That's what it was, dude. He changed who he was.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's it for me.
All right. So you want to go with your pull the pin, or do you want to do a person of the week and give it right back to him so you can get more?
I can go with pull the pin if you'd like.
Whatever you'd like. I don't want to oppress you.
We talked about it on the show, but I didn't really delve into it. Mental health in America. It is a real problem. Even Massachusetts, who is at the forefront of America as far as mental health goes, doesn't do enough to help people with mental health issues. And the VA is absolute shit when it comes to mental health. Let's be honest here. We need to do better.
Who isn't?
Right. We need to do better. And the fact that veterans are going without these mental health services in a lot of areas it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to me. We need more mental health in America, more mental health workers in America, more psychiatrists in America, more therapists in America, more people willing to help.
We just need more love, man. People who give a dang about people. That's it.
No, but that touches on a good point, because it was another police shooting where a black guy was killed, but when you research it, you'll see that the day before, the officer who showed up had mental health training, and the guy had he had a mental health issue, and the next day he was off, and then he ended up getting shot by the police. So that carries a lot of weight, and we talked about this also one of our earlier episodes, Jim, with PTSD. Just, hey guys, if you need it, and women, just please go out there and seek help.
Yeah, and I mean all this talking aside, and since Mike wants to get too serious on this here, there's a lot of people, and social media, I think, is making people's mental health even worse. And this COVID is making people. So I think this whole country's got mental health issues. But
Absolutely.
that's why I was just bouncing in there, Mike Watts there, because more mental health people would be helpful because we're all so far gone. But we probably don't have enough people who don't have mental health issues to be mental health people.
We also have to end the stigma of mental illness is weakness.
Yeah.
We have to end that stigma because it's not true.
Well,
It's not.
Doesn't that start with people recognizing? I mean, don't you all have to recognize we all got some kind of issue that we're trying to pretend, just like we brought up here,
It's not a
racism, all that stuff.
Yeah.
People are refusing to acknowledge what's in their face. You know what I mean? Even if you stand against whatever principle or side, you still have to acknowledge what's there. Stop
That's
pretending.
true. That's true.
Stop hiding and pretending. So I'm going to take you guys completely out of this heartfelt moment with my pull the pin, because you know dang well that this can't be all too serious and mushy, because then we can all cry and hug and well maybe we need that. Anyways, I'm going out on the street, not as homeless. I'm going out on the street for driving. And the reason this really irritates me is because I encountered it the other day. And now I'm a careful driver. I had a lot of driving training in my police force. I can ram through cars, break through barriers, drive backwards, all that stuff. I can do it all really good. I can eat a donut typing on my phone when driving with my knee. I could do all that. But the other day, I turned down an on-ramp to go on the highway, and in the middle of the island is this big, tall sign, red sign, white lettering that says wrong way. And I literally stopped and freaked out, and I'm like, is this for me or is this for the guy on the other side of the island? It just, that moment right there could have caused an accident. If you're going to put a wrong way sign, put it on the other side so that if you're going the wrong way, it's clearly on your side. Because in the middle of the island, it could be either car. And it just freaked me out and I panicked and almost crashed anyway. But that's my pull the pin. Whoever designed that, done. You guys ever seen that?
Yes, I've seen it before, and I agree 100%.
Yeah.
But that's one of those where I say,
why do you got to put deer crossing in the middle of the highway? No, I'm just kidding.
Right. Because it's stupid to make them cross.
Why are
there,
you
right?
allowing deer to cross here?
hey, Mike, have you ever seen that sign that said no picnic on the median? Have you ever seen that? No, you haven't. God,
but you know why they had to put it there?
Exactly.
Because somebody fucking did
exactly.
And here's the kicker: they probably still do.
Exactly.
It's the same reason why McDonald's coffee has to come with a label that says "Caution: Beverage is hot." Like,
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
But somebody got rich off that one. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think that's 80 million.
They got some charred genitals down there, but they got some money.
It was an old lady.
Oh, well, she need them anyway.
Like 80 million.
Wow.
Yeah, so many years ago. Yeah, long.
You didn't tell me the coffee was hot.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, I know you guys want to talk more, but we are rolling way too far on this one. It was already a good episode. We'll leave it where it was, and we will sign out of this one. Thank you all for watching. We hope you got something out of it. We hope you can parse all the arguing and back and forth to at least spicing this up. But in all seriousness, we appreciate you and start appreciating other people. And until then, Godspeed.
And pull the pin.
Thanks for joining us here. Pull the pin already. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If you like what we do, go ahead and hit that like button and share this video with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you don't miss out on any of our future episodes. But most importantly, leave a comment below. Let us know if you agree or disagree with our opinions. Hope to see you here next time on Pull the Pin Already.